Welcome to the David Institute Premium Masterclass titled Angel, the New Jerusalem's Secret Agent.
On this issue of angels, the secret agent, we need to have an insight into understanding how the heavenly Jerusalem works. For David was able to see the heavenly Jerusalem and was able to call the city on earth Jerusalem. And like we ever know, that was a time bomb that ever was set by God himself through David for us to use to monitor before and after and towards the end of life. But there is something very unique in this whole expedition. When you look at the life of somebody like Jeremiah, you see that there was a clear-cut message about God speaking that even before he was born, he was known, meaning that he was somewhere before passing through his mother's womb to become the Jeremiah that prophesied about the end of Jerusalem under the leadership of the Babylonians. Now, if you can hold that thought and fast forward to the real invasion by Babylon, and you look back and realize that Jeremiah prophesied that invasion through God's empowering the king of Babylon to evade the land of Jerusalem and Israel. When you can put this whole thing together, you're just beginning to have insight into how the secret agents of God work. So there was a reinforcement behind Nebuchadnezzar's invasion. But that invasion and its reinforcement was never known until 70 years had passed, according to the prophecy that Jeremiah prophesied about the children of Israel being in the land of Babylon. The strange situation that we are dealing with now is that while Daniel was in Babylon, settled and resolved to be an instrument of blessing to Babylon and to utilize his insight about God and his work, Daniel was able to take into consideration a higher realm of the operations of his faith to see a new dimension in all that we need to understand about the end time. But something very strange was there, and that is the reason why this podcast is done. The thing there was that along the journey of the life of Daniel, he encountered some spirit beings, angels. For you to understand the eternal nature of angels and the exorbitant and enormous grace and power and the superior nature they have, despite that they are still subject to us, one particular angel came to intervene while he was praying, and that angel's name is Gabriel. Another one came, his name Michael. And these are the positive angels that we look at, angels that have a mission for God for the positive outcome of life. You will never be able to understand how this whole setup works until you realize that this same angel, 400 years after, more than that, appeared again the same way he appeared to Daniel. He appeared to Zechariah, and he appeared to Mary, the mother of Jesus. What is very intriguing about this whole appearance is he still has the audacity, the power to make proclamations according to the message given to him and according to the outcome of the layout being stated. Remember Jeremiah being known before he was born. Now, see the proclamation of John the Baptist being known before he was born and what he will achieve. Now look at Jesus, known before and what he will achieve. The ultimate game plan here is for you to understand that there are agents at work for us. Most of the time we don't seem to realize that they are, but they are. And they are bound to be an instrument of blessing if only we have an insight into how this whole scheme works. It will help change our mind, change our structure, change our thought process. And in a long way, it will provide us with one of the most glorious outcomes that man will ever see. It is necessary for us to have an insight into how this particular thing works, that these agents have been positioned as instruments of God's hand to work for us. Be of good cheer, because we are overcomers in Christ through the workings of angels and Jesus.